Hey everyone. So tonight we're going to look at another World of Warcraft add-on called Shadowed Unit Frames. So as the name says, it's a unit frame. It's kind of similar to Grid but not the same thing. Grid gives you a unit frame that can condense a party or a raid in one spot where you can quickly access and understand what's happening to a member of your party without having to have too much intricate detail. You can just worry about what's happening to. You can identify the player. You can identify debuffs or buffs that are applied to them, and then healing that's needed, cleansing that's needed, debuffing, so on and so forth. That's what Grid gives you, that very simple ability, whereas Shadowed Unit Frame gives you the ability to see complex information, a great deal of information about individual members and of your raid or of your party, of yourself, of your target, your focus, the boss and ads. So let's just start out by going and getting the add-on. So I'm going to go to Curse. Usually go to WoW interface, but we'll go to Curse tonight. So anyway, here's Curse. We're going to give Curse his chance. We're going to Shadowed Unit Frames. There we go. So we're going to click Enter, get in here. Invalid search? What do you mean invalid search? Did I spell that wrong? Shadowed Unit Frames. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Yeah, don't be a jerk. Maybe I did spell something wrong. I don't know. So anyway, Shadowed Unit Frames supports 7.0.3. It's last updated July 21st, 2016, which is great. So let's take here a read of the description. SUF focuses on simple configuration while maintaining the flexibility most users would care about, preventing unnecessary bloating of the add-on that sacrifices performance. While you aren't going to be able to set the health bar to be exactly 3.14 pixels outside of the unit frame, you can change options you actually care about, such as bar height, ordering, frame height, and so on. You speed up configuration. You configure multiple units at the same time through the global configuration. For example, if you want to set the height of player, target, focus, and party frames to 50, then the height of target, target of target, focus target to 30. You can easily do this by changing two options instead of having to do it 7 times. So, and it's also modular. You can detach the frames and place them wherever you want. It's just great. Grid is everything that's going on in your party all condensed in one area, and you move it around as a group. Whereas Shadow Unit Frames gives you separate frames that you can move anywhere and anchor anywhere on your interface. So we just gotta click on download now. You're gonna wait for the download to begin in seconds. It's gonna happen. Ta-da! Downloading now. Alright, waiting for it to do its stuff. Well, let's just pretend it happened. So anyway, it downloaded, and it's going to show up. It's going to pop open a window, or you're going to have to find it and open a window. And usually the add-on attempts to save it in some temporary file. You don't want to save it there. You want to go find your hard drive, your C drive. You want to find program files. I don't know what Macintosh needs, but PC, you get into your program files, you got to find your World of Warcraft folder, interface, add-ons, and then it will be, you save it in here, extract it here, unzip it here. And let's take a look at it. So Shadowed Unit Frames is down here. There, so it should be shadowed UF options and then shadowed unit frames. You should see both. If you don't see both, I think you might have a problem there. So we don't have to do any more configuring here. All you have to do is launch the game. And I'm going to go out real quick here. So down in Add-ons, bottom left corner, we're going to see it here. It's called Shadowed Unit Frames. I'm going to click this off. So right now it's not out of date, but if in the future Shadowed Unit Frames is not updated at a patch release for World of Warcraft, you need to make sure load on out of date add-ons is checked, so it'll still load it in game anyway. So Shadow Unit Frames right here is represented by this bar that I'm mousing over right now, and it gives you a lot of ability to set up the information you want to see, including debuffs, buffs, raid rolls. You can see a cast bar for somebody to see what kind of items that they're casting. So you could certainly use this in arena or any kind of PvP battleground setting if you want. It's totally up to you. So to launch Shadow Unit Frames panel, I'm gonna hit on my keyboard / that's / then SUF for Shadow Unit Frames, and it pops open this little panel. So one of the first things I'm going to suggest you do is go straight to Profiles and create a new profile. Now this does something that Grid didn't do for us, is it puts profiles right away. So you create a profile, it creates a new empty profile, resets everything, and then you can start configuring and creating your custom profile that'll save as that profile you just created. Because if you start messing around with it now and make all the changes you want, then you go in here and you try to enter in a new profile, all it's going to do is wipe everything you just did out. So go here first, make a profile. You don't have to save anything, you just enter in a name. It should say okay or something like that, and you can accept it. So I'm going to close that, type it again just so. Alright, so yeah, I got my profile, Stephen Lord. The cool thing is I can open up my other accounts and load this one, select this one on all my other classes, all my other characters, and then they'll all have the same exact Shadow Unit Frames. It's like Grid, and Quartz and all those, many of these other add-ons and mods that allow you to save a profile that you can access on other characters. So I like the profile setting I have set up on this guy. So I'm going to use it on my other paladin. I'm going to use it on, my shaman, my hunter, so on and so forth. I like just the way that's set up. So just some general information here. We can start off by locking. When we lock frames, it just means we can't move frames. But the cool thing is, if I untick lock frames, you're going to see every frame that I have selected and have configured. So I'm just going to do that so you can see them. I can move that. Awesome. Look at this. You can't do this with Grid. So if the guy or gal who works on Grid, if you can see this, this is great. This is great to be able to move this thing. Oh, actually, usually Grid's over here on this side, so it's not like it's in the way. But that's just totally cool. So you see a lot of different information. You see a lot of things. You're seeing the kind of things that I might see most likely is going to be in raid situation. I don't do a lot of PvP, and when you do player fights, or not player fights, but like 5-mans and stuff, party groups, not raids, you can see many different frames. So I also have checked here hide tooltip in combat. That means when you mouse over, you won't see a tooltip for that person's name when you're in combat, and I just don't care or need to see it. Doesn't really matter to me very much, but I just leave it to turn it off. So there's colors, health. There's nothing really here, nothing to work there. There's nothing here that I do anything on. I mean, as much as I configured it, I haven't touched every single thing here. So background color, border color, chat frame, border none. I just don't even touch these things. And I select a font that is really easy for me to read. I like Fritz Quadrata. So I've selected that, and then my font size is 12. So you can go big, 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 big if you have problem seeing, or small, small, small if you don't have problem seeing. And that's where you make that configuration. Alright, I'm going to leave my frames unlock frames unchecked so you can see everything that I'm going to look at. So enable frames, this is where you're going to pick the frames you want to show. So I have player and pet. Obviously, I think that's very, very, very important. Pet target, I don't care about this, but if you care about this, then go ahead, select it. Target is very important, as well as focus. So you see I have target over here on the right, focus is on the left here. And again, it's up to you where you want to do it. Then there's target of target and focus target. So usually for me, target is going to be the boss, and focus will be also the boss until I like switch for like an ad that might show up. So like you're fighting a boss, and the boss has ads that come out, and you have to control them and do stuff with them. So I always have the boss set on my focus, even though I have the boss showing up here. This is mostly to track any kind of other mini bosses that show up, so I know that something's happened. Sometimes when you're back at the back of the raid where all the rangers standing around, you miss little things like ad just showed up, and I gotta watch the tank that is tanking then, because you know they're going to take a lot of damage. Maybe you know, I want to be able to have them selected so I can maybe I'm involved in an interrupt phase, like Nefarian's lair in Firelands. No, not Firelands, but what was that expansion? Oh no, why don't I remember what it's called? Alright, I'm an idiot. I confess, you probably already know that by now, but you're listening anyway, so you're nice. So anyway, in the fight with Nefarian where he reses Onyxia, after you kill Onyxia, you have to, the fire starts to, or lava starts to come up in the area that you're in, and you have to go up on these platforms and these little ads that you have to take turns with the other characters on the platform, interrupting one spell, one ability. And that's one of those places where, you know, I keep the focus will be the main boss, who in that case Nefarian's flying around, so I can't really do anything to him, but my target becomes the ad, and the ad will have a casting bar, and that casting bar is right here underneath where the target's health, the target's power bar is, and then this is the casting bar. Same thing over here. This is the target health, target power bar, and target casting bar. So I can watch for when that target is doing its cast so I can interrupt it. Or if I just want to be nice and help out the DPS in interrupting a target, or if DPS is laxing and not doing a good job, like in LFR, and they're not interrupting target, I can watch and, you know, hammer them, or, you know, throw any other kind of interrupting on top of them to stop them. So I only go as deep as target of target and focus target. So what these target of target and focus targets are going to be is naturally these going to be whoever the boss or the other ad that I have targeted are targeting, which is usually tanks or maybe other players. So I don't care so much about party, because party is just going to be, I already have grid to track my party. I don't care. I already have grid to track raid, so I don't use raid at all. If you don't want to use grid, then hey, maybe this is where you get your you know, unit frames for managing the party in the raid. I think I've shown you can cast abilities on somebody, or you can cast an ability. Give me a sec. I'm gonna get out of. Yeah, let's just leave them unlocked. Oh no, I'm gonna lock them. So as I showed you, this is unit frame, and oh, I'm not in my healing spec. Am I? No, I'm not. So it's important to show you any kind of unit frame gives you the ability to hover and heal on that target. So I can target over this, and I'm casting Holy Light without having to target myself. It just gives me that ability the same way grid does. Alright, so let's get back to shadow unit frames. Do I want to change my... I'm not going to change my spec back. Alright. Oops. Unlock frames. So enabled units. Also I will have boss. I don't care about boss target. So boss is right over here. This is boss. So if there's multiple bosses that can show up in a fight, they're all going to show up here. They're all going to be stacked one top of the other. The first boss, second, third, fourth, all showing up here. Thank God most fights don't have like 20 or so bosses I would not be able to see. I don't care about boss target because this is where I'm managing boss target. But if you care about that, then you can just, select that. You see right there, it just put boss target over there. And the cool thing is, I should be able to move this. Let's see, did I have boss target? Did I have this? It should be able to. I should be able to detach it. Oh crap! I'm gonna have to look into detaching those. Yep, I gotta show you how to detach it. Oh god, now I gotta remember how that works. Cause I don't detach usually from my frames. I like to pick individual ones that aren't attached to anything else. Yeah, I know I can detach that. Where is it? Where is it? Boss target. Oh, wait a second. Better than detaching. Let's go. I like bottom left. Nah, I don't like bottom left. I just want to go left. Bottom. There you go. So, we don't have to necessarily try to detach the frames itself. We have the ability to move it around without having to worry about that kind of thing. Alright. But I know that there's a way to detach it. Shoot. Crap. Alright, maybe I can see it along the way. I'm getting a little bit sidetracked here. So, I don't care about boss target, but maybe you do, so I'm going to turn that off. I don't do arenas, I don't do battlegrounds, so turn all that stuff off. And we're going to start here. Global. Global is just going to show you what units that you're using. So let's start with player. So on my player, enable portrait. So you got these tabs up. We're starting at general. Enable portrait. You can do whatever you want to do with your portrait. So this is my pretty face. And I can make it 2D. I can make it a class icon if I want. Or I can make it, three-dimensional if I want. And I can change where it is and make it left or make it right. And I'm sure the choices you make here, as you add more choices, you're going to increase the amount of memory that the game has to use to run shadow unit frames. So pick wisely what you're going to use. Like for me, enable combat fader. No, I could care less. Border highlighting, no. Combo points, no. I know I use holy power, but here I have no combo bar right there that's going to handle my holy power as well as my combo points on my rogue. So I don't need to use combo points here. So leave that out. Combat text, nope, I'm going to leave that totally off. I don't care about combat text. I don't care about what's going on in there, because I'm looking for a couple of things. I'm looking for a cast frame is usually what I'm looking for. The name of the target I have. I'm looking for its health and percentage health, as well as its power and percentage power. And why that is relevant is because Blizzard has set up many of its fights, whether it's usually the raid fights, the big raid fights, and not the 5-man dungeon fights, where there's a transition that happens at a certain percentage of health, or maybe at a certain percentage of their power, whether it's mana or whatever power that the boss has. So I'm going to show you how to configure that, and you can see I already have that done here. I have 34k health, but I have 68%. That represents, because that's it's already lost some health. It's kind of showing you right now what it would look like if it had 68% health, what this is like with 78%, what this is like with 41%. It's not something I configure that way. It's just kind of the default way that it kind of shows you your frames when you're first setting it up. So I want to make sure I can see the percentage. So when I know a transition, like in Archimond, he does transition at 70%, where range needs to move in with the melee for 70 to 40%, and then you know when 40% is happening, he's going to banish the tank, and banish groups are going to have to go down with the tank, you know, to make sure that you do that thing right. And so you need to know what the percentages are where they happen, as well as, you know, percentage of how much energy they have or power they have here. So I mean, that's the important things that I use shadow unit frames for. So everything else here, I could care less about combat text. I don't care about this stuff. Just added bloat. But if you want bloat, go for bloat. I thought it was funny. Alright, so here's where you're going to change the size of your frame. So I decided, like, my big frames, the big three frames, which is player, target, and focus, are all the same height and width. So target has got those are a little bit bigger, sorry. So yeah, my target and focus are going to be the same size, 90 by 250. You see the width is 250, scale is still the same thing, but I made my player a little less high, that's all. And then for target of target, those all are going to have about the same. That's 45 by 250, and that one's 45 by 250, and you can set them however you want. But for me, in my opinion, based on my choices, because target and focus are very, very important, probably maybe even more important than the boss itself, for DPS, for tanks, for healers, for keeping track on what's going on with a mob. Not that boss that isn't important, but you need to know how to target and how to focus something, and then how to track target of target and focus target. These are all very important for, at least for raids. Alright, so let's go back to player. So anyway, there's no anchor point here. It's just anchored to the screen itself. So I can move it around. Let's see, so we can change the height. I can type in here like 100, and that'll get a little bit bigger. There you go, it's a little bit bigger, but I like 60, so type in 60, then I'm going to press enter on my keyboard, so that's the size I want it. You can change scale if you want, but I just say make scale 100% and then change the width and height. And if for some reason the max width and max height is not good enough for you, then what in the world are you doing? Because this is more than big enough. This is already taking enough of my screen up. Alright, so we got bars. We're going to enable power bar, alt power bar. You see alt power bar, just a bar for alternate power info for some encounters. Class miscellaneous bars, no, I don't care about that. Enable health bar, yep, so I'm just going to turn off the health bar. You see what happened on my player. So this is the one I'm targeting. I'm sorry, I'm working on player right now, so this is the player bar we're looking at. So I disable that, but I want to see the health. Show heal absorbs. I don't have absorbs anymore. I don't care about incoming heals. I don't even care about incoming heals on grid. And again, incoming absorbs, I don't absorb. I don't care about anyone else's absorb. Ancient Kings, I don't have Ancient Kings. Not anymore on Holy Paladin, at least. I think tanks have Ancient Kings. Yeah, they have Ancient Kings. Enable an empty bar. Enables empty bar that you can put text or something's way of uncluttering other bars. No, I don't need it. Cast bar. I don't need a cast bar. I don't need to see my cast. But where I do need to see the cast is either target, focus, or boss. Unless when you play, target of target might be like a mob or something for you. It all depends on how you like to play, who you make your target. For me, I make the target and the focus to be the boss, and then I switch my target to any other ads that come in and leave focus as boss, even though I already have boss. It's just with the focus I can get more information, because these bosses are very small frames. You know, a cast bar on this boss is going to be hard to see, and again, the function here is to be able to track a bunch of bosses or like mini bosses that enter into a fight, so I can be alerted that something's happening, a change has happened, another ad has come in that I need to pay attention to as a healer, because I need to pay attention to the tank that is tanking it. You know, if the mini boss gives the tank a debuff, I need to cooldown preparation, I need to do all this stuff. But I don't use the boss frame, I don't use it to watch the cast bar. Not at all. I have focus and target to do that for me. And yes, that means I can't watch any of the casts of any of the bosses. If you're in a fight where you have a council type fight where you have 3 or more bosses, then maybe that might be a place where you want to go a little bit bigger with the boss bar and include cast bar. But I don't know, it's just an awful lot for me to try to take in a fight. So I just focus on focus and target, make them the largest bars I got, and make sure I have cast bar enabled. So yeah, I'm player, I don't care, I don't need to see myself healing, I don't really need to see it at all. So widget size, we have portrait, I'm not showing that, health bar, not showing that, power bar, not showing. So it's just a basic background. So if you take a look at this number, 20.4K, 41%. So health bar, show background, you're going to see there's just a little bit of pink showed up behind it. I don't do that. I don't think there's a need. I'm just going to leave it completely black. It doesn't cause any problems for me. And not having this enabled keeps the memory that is being used by shadow unit frames down. Let's take a look down at our menu. Okay, add-on memory, we got bartender has 3.29, shadow unit frames comes in second place at 2.36. So we try to keep as much stuff disabled and not used on our bars as we can, so that doesn't get too big. Alright, so everything's turned off there. Yeah, this widget size will be turned off on every single on all my active units, enabled unit frames. Auras, take a look at these. Nope, not enabling, nope, not wasting my time with these. These don't matter. As for buffs and debuffs, that's what I have grid for. Grid is where I'm going to track buffs. It's where I'm going to track debuffs. I am not going to use shadow unit frames, but you might be able to. Maybe you want to track it yourself. I think that would be just fine if you want to. Indicators. Okay, so this can be, kind of a choice of what you want to do. So class role, you have kind of like an indicator here. So that's down here, this little attack icon, that's the DPS. So I can click that on or off. Doesn't matter. I'll just leave it off. I'm just going to start turning stuff off. Combat resting status, I'm going to turn that on. You see down here little X's show either in combat or out of combat, like Z, because you're AFK or something. So here's your leader assist, master looter, don't need that. PvP flag, I want to see PvP flag. Believe it or not, I have no way of knowing that I'm flagged. If I'm doing a pug group and I joined another group and I have no idea if I'm being shifted from a non-PvP realm to a PvP realm, I want to know. I want to know if I'm going to go stand outside of the instance flagged and get my ass handed to me by Horde. Yeah. So I'm enabling that. Raid roll. So yeah, I don't think I need to see that. I'm going to turn that off now. Yep, I think I'm going to go and turn that off on every one of them. Raid target, I'll turn that on, so that's just a little icon that you've been assigned. I could care less because I can track it on grid. I can track who is assigned for what. When somebody has been assigned for a target, when a target triggers, when some part of the fight happens that's targeting you and you need to be paying attention, I'm using grid to watch for that. So I don't need to do Untitled Unit Frames. We leave it off. Ready status. Yep, that's a little check mark. No, I don't need it because grid is tracking ready status. Resurrection status. That's that little resurrecting guy. Died, or I'm resurrecting. I don't think I need it. Don't care. Alright, here's where the fun, well, actually, yeah. So anyway, anchor points. I'm sorry, I should have showed anchor points. There's little different offsets that you can use. It's all up to you to do wherever you want. You can change where these are. So if we look for this little PvP icon, we can put it wherever we want to put it. I'm sorry. You can't see it's being covered up by bartender right here. Let's go for top, left top. There he is. It's also got a little offset. So anyway, you can move that around wherever you want easily. I don't think you're able to take these indicators off and move them where you want. I think you have to select these different options for anchor points. And then text health bar. Alright, so text tags. This is where the fun stuff happens. This is where you start to make your you start to put the text that you're going to use to track what's going on that unit. So anyway, so the health bar is right here. It's this blue that's kind of left off. Let's I'm going to lock this because I want you guys to be able to see this. Pay attention to what my selections are. So health bar, we have these are the short names for what I have selected in these different boxes, and there's lots and lots of stuff you can select. Now this is my health bar, so I am not going to make any selections from power. I'm going to choose power when I'm in the power bar, so we're going to ignore power right now. So we're in health. We got AFK status and unit name are in there. So we'll go scroll down here. Got unit name. That's under miscellaneous. I could put anything else in there. I can choose. Let's see. It's not doing anything. Okay. So guild name. You can see my name kind of gotten shortened. This is the problem with making too many selections. Is you only have so much room, and who cares if your guild name is there? Well, that doesn't matter. Health absorbs sex. Again, it's just going to cut off my name because my name is kind of long and the bar is kind of small. But the unit name is really important. I think that'll be important for you to make sure that I pretty much have selected the same exact options on all of my different frames that I'm tracking. They will all have almost the same exact selections for left side. So left side represents here where you see the name. That's that right there. And then the right side is going to be over here on this right side. So we have current hit point and percentage hit point. And this rolls back into what I was talking to you about, how like if you're a raider like me, and if you understand the way Blizzard sets up fights, they set up fights so that bosses and fights transition usually at a certain percentage of like the boss's health or the boss's power percentage too. So not only do you see my actual amount of health here, which is 492k, but you see the percentage of health that I have left. So like an Archimon, when you get him to 70%, he transitions and the fight has to change from having two groups where you have the tank and the DPS are up on the boss and the range and healers are out and away from the boss. When 70% happens, then it's time for range to get in on top. It's safe for the range to get on top of the melee DPS, and then they start to go through the different abilities and things that have to happen where you have to get out of the raid so you don't blow people up or something like that. So that's why you see that I have a percentage here. Even though it doesn't matter what my percentage is, I'm just doing a default across the board for everything. I don't need to have this here. Maybe there's a fight where I have to manage, like if I get selected by the fight for a certain debuff, and the debuff says at a certain percentage I'm going to blow up, or at a certain percentage I won't be able to get heals until I fall below a certain percentage of health. And that's where the benefit of having this percentage here no matter what. So if I can make a recommendation for you, I would recommend current hit point and then a percentage hit point. And if you don't want to do both, percentage hit point is almost an absolute must. And again, we go down the list here. We're not doing power because power is going to be under power bar. We don't want to put power there. There's miscellaneous. I think you're going to have so much. You already got hit point and percentage hit point, and there's just enough room in there to get those both in there and be able to see them. But you can you got current max hit point. So if you want to track what's going on in terms of, let me see if I can, yeah, there it's hard. You can see that I just don't have enough to track current and then max hit point at the same time. It's just whatever their current hit point is. We don't care what their max hit point. They're being whittled down, or I'm being whittled down. It's not a matter of where the current hit point is, where the max hit point is. It's going to be percentage hit point. That's going to be very important for you to know about. And you see that, how that happened? I've changed the position by turning one off and then turning it back on. And you see up here in the text, percentage hit point changed over current hit point. So if you want to change and have 100% here or 100% there, you're just going to turn them off and then turn them on in the order that you want them. Let's see, current hit point. Let me see if it does this way. It's going to do the other way. There you go. So the first one you select is going to be the first text, or the first shoot. Why not? It's the first thing that you're going to be tracking on your health bar or power bar, and the second thing you select will be the second item that is going to be tracked on that bar, that particular bar. So okay, so let's move on to power bar. There's really nothing to do here. Again, with health bar, there's really no change. I don't mess around with it. I don't make it any different. So it's the same amount at height here as it is here. I haven't changed one to be bigger. If you wanted to do that, you could do it there. So here on power name, I just do classification level. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you can put a lot of different stuff here if you want to. It's kind of up to you. So classification could be like rare, rare elite, elite, boss, or minion. Nothing is shown if there aren't any of those. So you see that I'm not any of those. So this is important for when you're out in the world and you're playing around and you just came along and ad that's standing 50 yards away from you, looking at them, and you click on them, you're wondering, oh, what kind of ad is that? Is that just some mob? Not going to just pass by, I don't care about it. Or is that a rare? Or is it a rare elite that's going to drop something? Or is it elite and I better watch out because it's going to be I'm going to be in for a fight if I'm going to take that guy on without some help. Actually, rare elite will probably be pretty hard too, so you're going to need a party for him. And a boss is going to need like a freaking raid. So that's what this classification is. And even though it doesn't matter for me, I could uncheck it, it won't matter. I don't know, just as a habit, I leave it turned on anyway. Not that I think my classification is ever going to change. I'm never going to be a minion or mob or any of that stuff. And then there's level. That's just to give you an idea of what the level difference is between you and a mob. So if you're out in the world again and you're working on stuff and you click on a mob and you're leveling up, you want to know if this mob may be too many levels higher than you for you to try to tackle. And that's what this is. And you can use anything else. And there's also a rare indicator here if you want to use it. But you also have classification to show you if they're rare, rare elite boss or whatever. So there's no reason to really use this. And you can look at all this stuff decide what you want. Maybe you want to see it anyway. I don't know. That's kind of totally up to you. I mean, even though I'm looking at player and we're talking about player, I'm also talking about pretty much all my different frames. And then the right text, that's over here. So I'm just doing max power. And that's down here in the power bar. Because I don't care about health down there. I just care about the power. So max power could be a lot of different things. It could be max power. And of course I keep talking about watching for percentage. So you're going to click it there. And that's probably something I should turn on in everything. Since I kind of went off on about how Blizzard set up fights so that transitions happen at percentage of a boss's health or a minion adds health in the fight. And it can also be a percentage of their power. I should probably leave that on too, don't you think? Alright, we're just going to turn that on. There you go. Just made a change. The rest of this stuff is not very important in my opinion. I don't have any runes, so I'm not going to look at runes. I'm not going to look at stagger. So pets, let's just pet. Nothing special going on here. Hold on a sec. Oh. So look at pet. My pet is hiding down here. I don't really have a pet, but you might have a fight where you have to manage a pet and the pet has to do something in the fight that's significant. So scale, it's small, anchor to screen, enable power ball, art power ball. Did I say power bar? Turn all that off, enable health bar. Yeah, want to see health. Show, oh. Nope. Better not be. You better not have Ancient Kings. Cast bar. Maybe it's important for you, but it's not important for me. So I'm going to get rid of cast bar because I could care. I'm not going to do it. Widget type, portrait show as bar. Nope. These are things I don't care about seeing the background. I don't need a background, color that's partially transparent. Don't care about, no, don't care about that stuff. Actually, I usually don't have pets in my grid. So I don't know. Maybe I should leave these on. I don't know. But I'm going to turn them off. Retarget. Yeah, I guess I'll leave that on. And then we're back to the old health bar, power bar. So it's going to be the same thing. You're going to see name here. You see max hit point. It's a pet, so who cares what the power, the percentage hit point is? Shouldn't matter. But I could turn it on anyway. Yeah, I could turn it on. Did that help anything? Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Left bar, so we have what do I have there? Percentage power. Huh. Alright. Well, did something. Current power. Actual current max power. I'm going to do max power, percentage power. Change that up. It's correct. Max power, percentage power. And that should take care of him. So, okay, I'm not going to keep going through all these little every single last frame. Let's just take a look at target. Target and focus are going to be very similar to each other. The differences between target, focus, and then anything else is there's going to be a cast bar. So, enable power bar. So all we do is here is we enable cast bar. I'm not going to hide bar when empty. I'm going to leave it in there. Cast icon disabled. Wonder where I want it. Yeah, let's do it there. So test, it's doing a test spell rank there. You can kind of see what's going on. Cast bar, do focus. I'm going to throw a test in there so you can see it's going on. I'm going to start it from the right. How did I start from the right anyway? I thought I started you from the right. Oh. Okay, so whatever. So there you go. You could see both focus and target are, casting a spell that I need to keep track of, need to watch out for. When I see that spell, whoever's the focus target's going to have a cooldown or a heal ready to hit them, or somebody's got to get there and get their interrupt going in. Let's see. Let's do a couple more changes here. All right. Let's see. Enable everything there. Health bar. Yep, because we want to see the health. What happens to this target if we don't have health and we don't see their health? And that's very important, because that's how we know when transitions usually happen, is when their health hits a certain percentage. Everything here. We don't care about the background. Again, that's using memory we don't need to use. No, we don't care. No, wait. Buffs. Oh, yes. Alright, so the target, because my target is usually a boss, I want to be able to see buffs that the boss has. Auras, they're affected by castable on other auras and show casted by a boss. Yes, I want to see what the boss is doing. Display prioritized buffs. Yes, my auras. Yes. Positioning, so I got that anchored. It's over on the right side here. It's right over my pet, which means if I ever have to use my pet, it's going to be a problem if the boss has a lot of bars on him. And same thing for debuffs. So sometimes my target or my focus might be a player, and then I gotta watch for what's going on that player. But usually I just want to see what different buffs that they have here. So yeah, boss debuffs, my auras are important for me. Yeah, just to see what they're being affected by, and then I'm anchoring them over on the right side here. So if you wanted to change the positioning of things, you can certainly decide that you want certain buffs on the top, like show, and then the debuffs will be on the right side. It's all up to you to decide how you want to do it, left side, bottom, whatever. I'm just going to leave them over on the right. Indicators, class roll, no, I don't care about that. Master Looter, the boss is not going to be Master Looter. Yeah, I'm going to watch PvP. Quest boss. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't care about that. Raid target? No, I don't care about that. No, I don't care about that. So finally, I think I'm going to finish it up here pretty soon. I'm not going to go through everything, but I will show you. So again, we got name is there, and on the right side, we current hit point, percentage hit point. As I said, that's very important because that's how usually raid fights go, as they go in percentage of the boss health and percentage of the power bar. And I need to go through and change that. So you see level and classification here. And again, I put level in there so I can be careful when I'm out in the world and I see and target an ad or a mob out in the world and I'm leveling up. I want to make sure I'm not targeting something that's so many levels above me it's just going to look at me and I'm going to like drop dead right immediately. And there's classification for rare, elite, boss, minion, that kind of stuff. Then right text, I'm missing something on my health bar. I need percentage power. That's something I forgot. And you can see it's also missing here. So if you're going to use shadow unit frames, your homework is to figure out how to get that percentage power in here, which I basically just showed you how to do it. Alright, so there's still more things I have to do. I don't even touch these. I don't care about these. Or indicators. Don't care. Yeah, I don't care. Don't care. Maybe you do, but I don't. Yeah, I just hide a bunch of the frames, the Blizzard frames that I don't care about, that I don't want to look at, don't need. I leave this on because these are my buffs. I like to track and be able to see that if I have a buff or missing a buff. Even though with Legion we have so few buffs right now. There's not that many, but I still want to be able to track if I lost something. you never know. You get in a fight, you get MC'd by something, and maybe the MC'd mob changes a buff that you didn't want for another buff, and then you have to rebuff yourself with the correct one for the fight you selected. Zone configuration. I don't even touch this stuff. This is like PvP kind of. Yes, you have a raid and we have party instances, but everything I've already done is basically already been done here by working on these individual players. So, well, I made it all the way through this video without... Did my game crash? I don't know. I don't think it did. That'd be kind of cool. Alright, so I think that covers everything. I'm just going to lock my frames real quick and show you kind of how it would work. So I'm not going to try to get into a raid or anything, but I'm going to hover over my player shadow unit frame. I'm going to click Alt, and then I'm going to left click on it. So here's my target frame. You can see me in all my glory, and then this is the target of my target, which is me. And I don't really care about what's going on here. I just want to see who is being targeted. I have this little macro. It's just /focus is all it basically is. And then you see focus, and then the focus is target right here. And then the only thing we're missing is kind of the bosses that would show up in here, mini bosses and everything. And yeah, so wait a sec, I'm just going to do a holy light. There you go. You just saw me cast it. And it's really easy to see and read and know what's going on. Man, if we're in PvP and you see me doing this, interrupt. You know? Hit me with interrupt. Yeah, that's what you do. You interrupt the paladin healer. You make them hate you. Alright. Alright, a little over 50 minutes. I don't think that there's really anything else, but I think there are some settings that I need to go back and make sure I configured everything. Mostly that power bar, because I want to see the percentage. You don't see the percentage here. I want to see a percentage. I just don't want to see a 100. That's not good enough information. That's what Shadow Unit Frames gives us. It gives us the ability to add information to the unit frame that is relevant for what's going on in a fight. It gives us the ability to detach the frame so we can move it all over the frame and what's going on. That's kind of... Hold on a second. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to unfocus myself. SUF. Lock frames. Let's see. Should be... So, there we go. Unlocked it. Pet's now free, going anywhere he wants to go. But I want to leave him there because I have a bar. Hold on a second. Bartender. Pet bar. Why aren't you... Hold on a sec. There we go. Let's just check that. So I got my pet, and I got a pet bar down here that I want to make sure I got my pet close enough to that so it's not covering up the bar. That would be so annoying. Yes, I know we got all that stuff covering up my stupid pet. It's not a perfect thing, but on my paladin, man, I know I'm not expecting to ever have a pet. You know. Alright. So, bartender. I'm probably going to show you that next. But not tonight. And there you go. That's Shadow Unit Frames. And there's a lot of stuff you can do. A lot of things you can do to configure it. And you can change the colors if you want. And all that other kind of cool stuff. It's all kind of up to you to do it. You know, I'm just kind of giving you a little bit of taste. And you're going to go the rest of the way and configure it the way you want it. And place it wherever you want it. And yeah, let's see. One more thing. I talked about being able to take bars apart, and I want to see. So we got to make sure we unlock frames. Let's see, enabled units. I'm just gonna try. Give me a couple minutes. Indulge me for a couple minutes, or you could just leave the video. Do whatever you want. Let me quick take a look at this. there must have been a way I can take the boss target, take those frames apart, remove them from there. Row growth, anchor point, left bomb, anchor to. You can't change that. So I can't unanchor it. No, that's... I could have sworn that there was an option to do it, and right before I made this video, I did a dry run through, and I thought I saw something that gave me the ability to pull those individual parts. And crap, that's so annoying. No, I mean, why would this not going to show me anything? Unit configuration. Shoot. Well, anyway, I could have sworn that there was a way that you could take apart frames like these boss frames and move them individually. I mean, completely take them apart so you can have boss 1 and boss 2, different size of your frames if you want to. And I cannot. Man, I should have written it down somewhere. Unit configuration. RAID frames. Not doing RAID frames. Unit positioning. So frame unit positioning. Frame anchoring. Well, maybe I misread something. Oh no, are you kidding me? Was this it? No, maybe that's not it. No, it's not it. So I think unfortunately some frames are kinda attached to other frames and you can't. Okay, this is what I thought maybe I was seeing. Duh, it's right there. But that unfortunately doesn't change anything for you. So sorry about that, guys. I thought these suckers were really modular. Like you could take apart these boss frames and put them wherever the heck you want to put them, and you could take all these different frames, groupings of frames, and take them completely and totally apart. And unfortunately, you can't. About the only thing you can do is, you can pick an individual frame or a group of frames that are together and then position it wherever you want. And that's how that all works. So, alright, I think this is taken long enough. Yeah, under 1 hour. So if you hung around, thanks a bunch. I hope this has helped explain shadow unit frames for you. I hope that, if you're a casual player and you want to take your game to the next level, or you just want something that makes the game easier to do, add-ons and mods such as shadow unit frames, grid, click, bartender, these all help out in your gameplay. You can use them. They're not against Blizzard's rules unless you come up with something that breaks Blizzard's API, because that's where all these add-ons and mods are built around, following the rules and not breaking Blizzard's API. And I think that's it. So, alright, this is the last time I'm going to say thank you, and later, dudes.